Hi, I'm Chris Behringer. I'm a Senior Field Service Engineer for Oracle. In this session, we'll be replacing a Fibre card in the M5000 server. This procedure can also be used for the M4000 server. Before working on the M series servers, training is mandatory. A formal training class is required. Many of the procedures that you'll need to perform on the M series servers do require the ability to navigate around the XSCF, which is basically the system controller of the M series server. This session will not cover those commands. The first thing that you'll want to do when you arrive at a customer site is you'll want to verify the serial number on the system. The serial number on the M5000 is actually in the top right corner of the system. Before we get started, we'll want to talk about a few safety precautions when working on the M5000 server and M4000 servers. This is actually a fairly large piece of equipment, and so it's very heavy as well. Most standard racks will actually come with an anti-tip bar that you'll find underneath the bottom of the rack. And you'll want to actually pull that bar out and secure it in place so that when you pull the system out, the rack won't tip over and land on top of you. As always, when working on any equipment, you'll want to practice proper ESD procedures. We have our static mat here that we can open up, make sure we have room to put our parts on it, and we also want to make sure that we ground it out to the system itself. This system actually comes equipped with a hole that you can actually plug your static strap right in there before you start working. And make sure that the mat is also ground out on some kind of metal on the system as well. When replacing any kind of a Fibre or HVA card, the procedure is going to be the same for any kind of card that's actually in the system. The customer can choose to either do it hot, or they can actually take the system down. Of course, anytime you take the system down and pull it out, you need to label your cables before you remove them. Otherwise, the customer can run CFG-ADM commands to remove the card from the Solaris environment, and in those cases, it'll actually remove power from the card so that you're ready to pull it. So when you receive an action plan, it's actually going to tell you which I/O unit and which slot needs to be replaced. So this is IOU 0 on the right-hand side, and this is IOU number 1 on the left-hand side. We're going to replace PCI number 4. As you can see, each slot is actually labeled. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 0 at the bottom, 4 at the top. We'll go ahead and remove the card. Now, to do that, this handle here actually has two plastic pieces at the top. We're just going to give those a little pinch. We're going to pull back on this lever. As we pull it, you can see it disengages the card from the board on the side here. And then we'll grab this handle and we'll slide the card out slowly. There's actually 3 screws on here to remove the card. I'm going to loosen each one of these screws, and I just need to loosen them. I don't need to pull them all the way out. Once they loosen, you'll see that these plastic pieces will actually pull back away from the card. And once they're pulled back, you can actually just pull the card right out of there. Keep this lever all the way up. It's going to make it a lot easier on you trying to get this card in here. So we're going to take the card. We're going to make sure these are out of the way. We're going to slide it along that little crevice there until it's in the back. We're going to make sure our slot's lined up. It's nice and sturdy against the wall there, and then we're going to push these little plastic pieces up till they engage the card. Now you actually want to put a little pressure on these while you're screwing them in, just to make sure the card doesn't get loose. Now once this card is in place and it's secure, and we're sure that it's down to the bottom the best it can go, we'll go ahead and take it. We'll notice there's plastic guides on the side that we can line this right up with so that we don't have any issues getting it in there. So once we line it up with the guide, we should be able to just slide it right on in to the end. And then we'll grab the little handle here and we'll just move it forward. Now, in some cases, you'll get a little tension. If this card isn't in here real good, you might click right there and it may not go in right away. But if the card's in good, it should just slide right in, and then you can maybe give this a little pinch to kind of help it go into place there. And once that's done, the card has been replaced. Talk to the customer, make sure they run any commands that they need to from the operating system. You'll have the customer check everything out, verify that everything looks good from their standpoint, and you should be good to go.